What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to your daily fantasy quiz. Hey guys, what's up? It's another day, another quickie with your host JJT and Komish. I'm not sure if I should be smiling right now because lots of injuries today and big names at that. Not just not just minor injuries, but major injuries to major players and top players at that. Lots of big name players did not play as well today. The likes of Paul George, Jimmy Butler still out. But the biggest news, I guess, is Bam Adebayo. He had another thumb injury, and probably the worst among everyone.
He's out 4 to 6 weeks?
Yeah, I think conservatively 4 to 6 weeks. I'm not sure if it's gonna take longer than that, but
it makes my diagnosis of Jalen Suggs not that good, because I said 4 weeks for Jalen Suggs and doesn't seem like he has a broken thumb, right? So, but yeah, maybe longer than 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, and I think this BAM thing is more like, I think they felt like, it's really bothering him, and if he gets the surgery now, he'll still make it to the playoffs. I mean, somehow, yeah, right? So I think that would still be that's one of the considerations on why they opted to go surgery already with this one.
Yeah, yes, possibly.
So yeah, Bam Adebayo is out I think 6 weeks would be the best guess here.
Damn.
And of course, the main ad is Dwayne Dedmon, who had a double-double today. Solid numbers. Should be a good contributor, I think. If you're holding on to players like Hassan, I think this guy's, can contribute a lot more. He can score, he can shoot threes a bit, he can rebound, and of course the defensive stats should be there. And there's really no one there in Miami. I think Butler was out. Bam was out. I'm not sure. Did Marcus Morris or Markieff already play?
No, Markieff is still out.
Yeah,
and so you're right there. If you're holding Hassan, even Andre Drummond, Mason Plumlee, who else? These low end bigs.
Yeah.
Maybe for me, even Steven Adams. I would do that. Zubac, maybe even Zubac. If I can get Dedmon over Zubac, I will also do that. With Dedmon, if you look at his history, his playing history, there was 1 year in Atlanta that he played 25 minutes, and the numbers were 10.7 rebounds, a steal, a block. So those are good numbers for 25 minutes. I don't think he'll go to 30. He had 30 today, I think, but I don't think that's gonna be sustainable. He's 32. Mm-hmm. So, and he has a lot of injuries also in his mileage, in his body. So I don't think
he was actually questionable before the game.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And I think he did play the last game, or he was also questionable the last game.
Yes. So I think 25 is a reasonable expectation. And the stats he did 3 years ago, I think the 1 steal, 1 block, that can still happen. But my prediction with Dedmon is he will be very good early on. But when Markieff Morris comes back, when Jimmy Butler comes back, he will fade. That's what I think. So if he plays well early on, you can flip him. If you can get somebody better. Of course, it's easier said than done. But just try. But I just think that there's a big factor also that Jimmy Butler was out today. If Jimmy plays today, Jimmy can play power forward. PJ Tucker can play center. Of course, there's still Markieff Morris eventually. Dedmon will not get as many minutes as he did today.
Yeah. So yeah, don't expect too much from. Don't expect this to hold for a long time. But as long as he gets around 25 minutes, I think he should be okay. He can contribute. He can rebound. And he can do a lot of things, and he won't hurt you as much in other stats as well. So yeah,
Yes.
Bam Adebayo, another injury. Christian Wood.
Yes.
Christian Wood is a sprain, I think.
A sprained ankle. He
Yeah.
sprained, I think, in the first quarter or the early second. I'm not too sure. Then he came back, then sprained it again. Then after the game, he was already in crutches. So and Christian Wood last year, if I'm not mistaken, also was out for a long time because of sprained ankle, right? I remember last year,
I
especially
couldn't remember the injury.
but he was out. He was out last year. I know it was a sprained ankle because I remember we were talking about it and we said that when he came back, he was terrible. Before he sprained his ankle, he was so good, and when he came back, he was just not himself. And we said maybe it's longer time to for ankles to heal and everything. They can play, but it's not 100%. So this is troubling for Wood that he sprained his ankle again.
Yeah, and I know the biggest question with Wood's injury, I know it's coming up. You know it's coming up, right?
Yes, Daniel Pace. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
No, of course it's Sengun.
If Sengun still doesn't get the minutes, I think that's gonna be a bad sign for Sengun owners.
A while ago, Daniel Tay started in the second half over for Wood.
Mhm.
And Sengun played 13 minutes. So, what do we expect? I don't think Sengun will start. I just think they'll be hard-headed about this. Silas will be whatever, just do his thing. I don't think he'll play 30 minutes. There will be games where he will play 25, 26 if he plays well. But he's a rookie. No matter how good we think he is, he's a rookie. So he'll have bad games. And when he has bad games, maybe it'll be 18, 20 minutes still, even with Wood out. So the good news is I think at least 20 minutes would be reasonable for Sengun with Wood out.
25. Come on, let's push it up to 25 minutes.
No, I mean if you want a guarantee that how many minutes will he play, I think 20 is a safer mark. Because as I said, Tace won't be, just removed from the rotation. So there's Tace, and they're winning, and of course Silas still wants to believe that they can make the playoffs or the play-in. So he'll not play him 30 minutes. 25, maybe some games. There will be games.
Or maybe they'll just go small and have Tate play center or whoever their power forward is.
I'll be surprised if they let Tate play center or KJ Martin play center. I would think that Tate or Sengun would take all the center minutes. There's no reason why not.
I'm pretty sure all of the Sengun fans are eager to find out already.
Let's see
if he'll get those minutes. But like I said, it doesn't mean that he doesn't start. It's bad for him. In fact, if he doesn't start and plays it with the second unit, that might be good for him because he might be better than the other second units out there. Again, there's something about starting wherein you go against the best of the other teams, and that might be a little problem for a rookie like Sengun.
And remember, Sengun played 13 minutes a while ago, but he played majority of that in the second half. And they were down big. And he was one of the reasons why they came back. So if you're the coach, look at it. If you watch tapes and everything, you would see that he was really the one. I think 2 assists and then a block and then something continuous plays that spark the team. So that's good. That's good for him. Just let's not be ahead of ourselves. He's not gonna be a top 50 guy all of a sudden or a top 40 guy. It's just that it's making owners giddy because hey, this is the present that you want to open on Christmas Day. What is it like?
I know this is going to be premature discussion, but if Sengun plays well, let's say for 2-3 games, and I mean really well, way above what he is playing right now, do you think he's a flip?
Depends on who you can flip him for, but I'm always open to flipping.
Yeah,
you know that.
You're gonna be. I'm gonna be pretty sure it's gonna be a nice, probably a top 100 player.
Not enough.
Maybe
if it
top
maybe
80.
top. I'll go higher. Sengun will be a top 80 player at some point in the season. So I want more. Maybe top 70, top 65, those kinds of players. Potel, maybe. I would consider that. I just want higher. I just want higher rank players before I flip. But I'm open to it. If he plays really well, I'm open to it. Just have to give me somebody better for me to consider that. If you're gonna give me somebody like, sorry to keep on giving Jordan Poole, but I mean, if somebody will just say, "Oh, here, Jordan Poole," no, not those kinds of players, not those Bojan Bogdanovic, not the not. I mean, Bojan is doing well with Utah. I mean,
yeah. But
not
not the most interesting player to get.
Yes. Not those kinds of players. Not Spencer Dinwiddie. Not who else? Not those lower level 90s, 80s to 90s kind of player.
A rookie like Scotty Barnes.
No. Scotty Barnes. I have my worries with Scotty Barnes. If you give me Cade Cunningham, okay, I'll do it.
Cade Cunningham, all right.
Cunningham
could be a good trade. Players like, I'm thinking of other players who we can flip him for, who is currently in the top 40. Yeah. Let's see. I'll think of some other.
Cole
players.
Anthony.
You'll pick Cole Anthony? You get Cole Anthony?
Oh yeah. I'll get Cole Anthony over Sengun. I'll do that. Gary Trent would be harder. Let's say Gary Trent. That would be tougher because you would expect Gary Trent to fall down, right? To come down. So that might make you think, will I go with Trent?
Because the name,
or will I go with Sengun?
There's this name value there. That Trent's name value is not as high because it's his first time to produce, right? It's his first time to be there, to be up there in the rankings.
Okay, let just to complete this Sengun segment, we have to wait on what Wood's prognosis will be. If Wood will come back after a week or two, then I'm not too high on Sengun right away. So I'll not think about that. I'll get Gary Trent. But if it's like 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks, a major sprain or whatever it is, then yeah, okay. I mean, that's better.
All right. So we'll wait for we'll wait for the timeline or maybe
forward
of the injury of Cristiano Wood. But if he's in crutches already, it sure looks like he's gonna miss probably a week at least with that injury. One injury that's gonna be scary for owners, Karl Anthony-Towns. Injuring his tailbone, falling really hard after a dunk. Something to worry about, and this is where we talked about Naz Reid being a handcuff player for Towns.
Yes,
in case he misses time. We still don't know how bad it could be. Maybe it's just sore, nothing broken, nothing to worry about there. But
X-ray
he could miss some time.
X-rays were negative though, but tailbones are no joke. Tailbones are no joke.
I mean, Steph missed a lot of time with the tailbone injury, right? And
yeah. I mean, Steph missed a game. He played through his tailbone injury this year, but he missed.
Didn't he had the same injury maybe last year?
Yeah. He had one injury, tailbone, and Jimmy Butler is already going 3 games and counting with his tailbone. And none of those injuries, because tailbone, you injure it when you fall bad. And you see it on the court. It's not something like, you didn't feel it. And then when after the game, you just took an MRI and you found out about it. It's not something like that. You really see it on the game. And this one, when we saw Curry's injury or Butler's injury, it wasn't as bad as this one. So if Towns will not miss games, so will play the next game, well, he's an Iron Man. I'll give him 2 thumbs up. Very good. But if I'm a Towns owner, due diligence would mean I have to pick up Naz Reid right now.
You should pick him up.
You should pick him up
even before knowing how long this would injure. I mean, Naz Reid isn't bad. I mean, even when with Karl Anthony-Towns in 17-20 minutes, he's okay. He doesn't give you much, but at least he scores a few. Blocks a few. Not bad. But yeah, now he is really a must add there speculatively if Karl Anthony-Towns misses time. And maybe Vanderbilt would have more usage without Towns.
But he's not available, so it has to be Reed.
Yep.
It just has to be Reed.
Reed has to be there. All right. So Jimmy Butler, like we said, was out again. Paul George was out due to rest. I think he'll probably play. Dame was out again. Dame will be out for 10 days.
At least. So, those are the two key words there. At least. If it's just 10 days, okay, we'll be patient, and so long as he's gonna be healed, he'll be better when he comes back. We'll be okay. But the key word, as we said, is at least. They had an MRI again. That means it's really hurting him. And he had a bad game before he rested the last game. So I guess he was really not feeling that well already. And that's why they took an MRI. And makes me curious where the 10 days came from. It just, I feel like it's just like, okay, let's check this out.
The COVID protocols, I guess.
No, I mean, I feel like they decided like, okay, let's check this out in 10 days if it's healing. So that scares me, because what if in 10 days it's not healing properly and they say, okay, you're out indefinitely, or you're out 2 more weeks, you're out this. So doesn't sound, promising for Lillard.
Yeah. So again, nothing to do there, but just wait. You can try to trade him, but I don't know if he'll get really good value. If he was buy low early in the season, he is a buy very low at this point, even though we don't know the timeline yet. But of course, missing time is different from him playing and struggling.
At this point, it's just one rule for me: stay away.
Yep.
I don't care how low you go. I just let the owner deal with that problem, because it's your player already. If he comes back and plays 2 great weeks and you say, see, I got a good deal, but then after the 2 weeks, he's gonna miss this and that again. So not worth the headache. Just stay away. That's the rule. Don't ask us about what we think about Lillard. That's it right now. Given we know all these things have happened already, come out in the open. Stay away.
Yeah.
Stay away.
Another player who's been struggling, Jaylen Brown. He played though. I just didn't notice the stats that he gave.
9 points, 3 out of 11, around 4 rebounds, I think, and 1 assist. 33 minutes, and you could see how he is moving. He's not moving well. And on offense, what happened was he stood in the corner, let Schroeder, Tatum, let them do one-on-one attack, one-on-one, and do what they think, pick and roll and whatever. If the ball comes to him,
he'll shoot it.
He's open, he'll shoot it. If not, he'll just pass it again. On defense, there were a lot of videos that came out on how well he was laboring, but he was able to play good defense. Yeah, kudos to him. But still, the key word there is laboring. He was having real problems. And Ime Udoka, I don't know what he's thinking, but he played him 33 minutes and basically the whole 4th quarter. So whatever it is, I don't know. Let's just wait and see if he plays the next game. There will be 2 back-to-backs coming up for Boston.
Yeah. Late this week, I think. There's a back-to-back late this week.
And then next week, there will be a back-to-back. And if Jaylen plays those games, I'll be shocked. I mean, I think he'll miss 2 games at least. One of each.
Yeah. So it's a hamstring injury, and like we always say, like the reports always say, hamstring injuries are very tricky, and we'll see.
Devin Booker also, by the way, out for a couple of games with a hamstring injury. Just reminded me of the hamstring.
There, my invitationals team was just
decimated.
The first 3 picks I had are all out. I have Paul George, Jimmy Butler, and Devin Booker. So
at least Paul George is just a rest. Paul George is just a rest.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler, I think, since he's been out for 3 games already, I think he'll be back soon. So he'll be fine. I have Lillard, I have OG, I have Jaylen, I have Kemba.
One of those years.
My Kemba. Anyway.
Let's talk about some players to buy. Let's talk about some buy players. First, KCP We talked about him before. Top 70 at the moment.
Yeah.
Did this hold? Well, regardless if it
No.
holds or not, you should at least ride it out. I don't see any KCPs out there in the waiver wire, at least for the 14 team. So, yeah, should be.
Yeah.
You should hold on until it lasts.
Okay. Yeah. I think so. At this point, that's why you don't pick players like Jordan Clarkson or Tim Hardaway in drafts, because you can get players who might even be better, like KCP, in the waiver wire, right? And Jeremy asked if it will last. I don't think it will last, but it's already 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks that he's been playing this well. If he gives you 2 or 3 weeks more, that's already almost half the season that he gave you this good of a value. Whereas if you used your 100 pick on a Jordan Clarkson or a Tim Hardaway Jr., it's a waste of pick. It's a waste of pick. And both of them are not even doing as well as KCP, right? So, there. Yeah.
And other buy players, Kevin Huerter. I'm not sure if he's still there, but he shouldn't be. Ever since the DeAndre Hunter injury, he's been really good with the starting lineup, and should be a hold for you guys. But let's look at you were about to say.
No. Cam Reddish was out today. That's why.
Yeah, but even before that, since he was being inserted in the starting lineup, Huerter has been rosterable at least.
Yeah. I think so.
Let's move down the waiver wire and see who we get there. Kevin Love,
22 points, I think, today.
I forgot which league it was, but I was contemplating on getting him, and it's so annoying when you did not choose him and then he performs.
Maybe it's a Champions League, because I also was thinking of streaming him for today. I was thinking of streaming him for today, and I went with, who did I go with? I went with someone else. And one thing interesting about Kevin Love's situation, early in the season, he was okay. There was a time when he started, I don't know who got injured, but he was okay, but he wasn't shooting 3-pointers. He was not making 3-pointers. He was 0 point something threes. It was just the points and the rebounds that was keeping him afloat then. But now, since COVID, he's averaging, I think, 3-pointers a game. Today he had 6, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting for Kevin Love, and that's add another wrinkle to his fantasy relevance. So we should not make him our bet already, because he's making us look silly.
And this Cleveland team is really interesting. I mean, their players are really fantasy friendly, I guess. Right? All their centers, the top 3, their 3-headed center starting lineup, and then Garland. Maybe Okoro is not as fantasy friendly, but he can be a streamer at least. Rubio is being owned, and now we add Kevin Love to the mix. But that 3-headed center is really good. Really good. It's really Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley, fantasy wise, I haven't really observed Markkanen's value, but I'm sure he is rosterable. He is a significant player there, and
he's been playing well. Markkanen has been playing well. Today he had a bad game, but overall for the season, he surprised me. He's also a top 100 guy this season. They have how many? They have 4. I think they have 4. Rubio is not, sorry, but they have 4 in the top 100.
They have 4 already, and that's their starting lineup pretty much.
Yes.
So there, Kevin Love. Of course, we talked about Naz Reid, should be owned. Chris Duarte, in case he was dropped, he is feeling it again. Should be up and down season for Duarte.
Yes, he's not a must add. I'm not saying you have to add him, but he was dropped really being very bad at stretch. But now that Justin Holiday is in COVID protocols, and TJ McConnell got injured today with his wrist, only played 3 minutes. So if that's gonna cost McConnell some time, then more stats for Duarte. And Caris LeVert is a big worry again. So he didn't do much
game
again.
Is up and down, really. I mean,
it's been down.
You get some good games. I think before this game he had a few maybe one or two good games.
One.
Yeah, probably one. Probably just one. I
Yeah.
remember putting him up in my roster because he was for so long in the IL, and then I moved him up and he played really well. So that was good for me. But I think, yeah, after that, I don't think he played again a good game.
In very shallow leagues, I'm okay to move on with Levert. In 12-team leagues, if there's really a hot FA, I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay
That
to.
that
I'm okay.
that that Indiana team though has been a disaster in terms of fantasy.
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah,
I
we could
mean,
say that.
it's all
We could say that.
it's like only Brogdon has been the consistent guy. Sabonis has been a little underperforming. Levert has not been good. Even TJ McConnell hasn't been as good this year. Really, there's not much there in terms of fantasy for the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah.
All right, those are our buy players. Of course, we have Monte Morris, Chimezi Metu, Gary Harris. These players we've talked about already in the past quickies. As far as Gary Harris is concerned, I think today's game somehow says who will be the replacement of Suggs in terms of the starting lineup and usage.
Yeah, but I think it's more of a 16-team league because he's a very, very poor per minute guy. But at least he's getting 32, 33 minutes a game. So, it's like an Okoro.
Yeah.
So if you're really, needing a player who will play, give more chances to produce stats, you can look at Gary Harris.
Yeah. Worry players. Let's talk about worry players. Who do we start with? Duncan Robinson.
I mean, without all those players in Miami that we talked about, he's not even producing. Just drop him. We'd already mentioned it weeks ago that he is
I think,
dropped.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey, a player who's in the top 30, I think, right now. Is he
Yeah.
still? I think he was, last time I checked, he was in around 30, 29, I think.
He's not. I don't think he's in the top 30 anymore. He has had three kind of bad games. Today was bad. So we got questions on who they could flip Maxi for, and I said, you wait for him to get a good game again, and then maybe decide at that time.
Yeah,
he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine in the sense that he's still gonna be, valuable.
He's gonna be playing.
But not
he's gonna be
Maxi.
playing. I mean,
yeah.
He's gonna have the minutes. Yeah. He's gonna have the usage. Of course, the usage will go down with Embiid there and Tobias and all those guys healthy. But yeah, the minutes, as long as it's there, he should, somehow be rosterable at least. Ricky Rubio, we mentioned him.
This is a bad shooting slump for him, which
is normal Rubio.
Yeah, normal Rubio. The difference with this Rubio and last year's Rubio. Last year was with Minnesota, right? Yeah. Last year with Minnesota. The difference is he's getting a lot of minutes this time. Last year Minnesota was tanking, so really no intention of competing. This year Cleveland is playing well.
Yep.
And Rubio, even if he's not shooting well, fantasy-wise, he's not doing well. He's a worry player. But in real life, he's number one in Cleveland with the plus-minus. So he's still playing winning basketball, even if he's not shooting, because he's a veteran. He passes the ball well. He's like a Chris Paul sort of for Cleveland. So it's just that in fantasy, it's not translating right now.
Yeah.
The field goes brutal. Really bad. It's really bad.
Yeah, but again, Rubio has stretches like these. So just maybe extend your patience a bit on Rubio. As long as he gets the minutes.
Yeah, as long as he gets the minutes.
As long as he gets the minutes. I mean, you probably won't drop your Rubio, but yeah, as long as he gets the minutes, I think.
That's why even before this really bad stretch, we already told you, right? We said, we put him in a worry and we said, why? And I said, numbers. They look at the numbers. People are remembering the 20 plus points, the 12 assists or whatever explosions. But look at overall the averages. The field goal is really bad. And you could see it already.
Ricky Rubio. Tobias, since I think he came back from the COVID thing?
Yeah, even before.
I mean, before he was okay. I mean, not as good yet, but again, that was early in the season. Everyone was not good. Um, Now still worse actually, worse than than his pre-COVID stint.
What's irritating is, like, I know he's not a steals and blocks guy, but point 0.4 steals, point 0.5 blocks for the season. That's really low. That's really low.
No, the
And
scoring has dropped as well.
actually, for the season, yeah, lately after COVID, yes, it has dropped. But overall, he's still along his average last year and this year, still the same.
Yeah.
But yes, the scoring has been dropping, and maybe it's because of, there's Maxi, there's other players. Maybe I don't know. The shooting is also worse. 46% for the season. Before, when we picked Tobias, we'll say it's boring, but at least he won't hurt you. At least he's 51%. At least he's that. He's taking threes. But now it's not like that. So
he's probably in the same boat as Chris Middleton at this point, and they've always been on the same boat. Chris Middleton also hasn't been as good yet, and we talked about him. I think a few quickies ago.
As a buy low.
As a buy low. So Tobias, a buy low?
No. I'm not buying on Tobias. I feel like this is really what Tobias is gonna be.
Why?
Players, there is a moment when players start to decline. I feel like Tobias, this is the start of it. I'm not saying that he can't bounce back. He might bounce back, but the numbers won't be far off. And I don't know what kind of buy low you can really get from him. But no, I've seen Tobias being traded for Richaun Holmes. I've seen Tobias being traded for who else? Robert Williams. No, I'd rather have those players than Tobias.
Yeah, those are too high.
I mean, even let's say Darius Garland. I still have Darius Garland. I still like Darius Garland over Tobias. I don't know how low. If I go lower, I don't think the owner of Tobias would agree. So I don't think you could really trade for him in a buy low sense. And if it's not a buy low sense, I would not like to have Tobias Harris. Not this year.
Yeah. Okay, so this might be a difficult question to answer, but any player who is outperforming Tobias at this point, who you didn't expect, right? Let's talk about
Gary
Trent.
Cole Anthony.
Would you pick those players above Harris or?
Maybe Cole Anthony I would pick over
so that low
over Tobias, but I would pick Tobias over Gary Trent. I would pick. I'm confident Tobias will finish higher than Gary Trent. Cole Anthony, I'm just higher on him now because I've seen
Gafford, for example,
usage.
Gafford.
I'll go Tobias. Gafford. I'll go Tobias in that sense. Gafford is top 80 right now. He's been playing well.
Yeah.
But again, if you look at the history of Gafford, until when? I don't believe that he will be this good consistently until the end of the season. It won't happen. There will be peaks, ups and down. So I'm still gonna go Tobias there, unless you really badly need blocks. Let's say you need blocks, you need those things. So
it's unless it's a need-based thing, right?
Yeah.
You need the certain stats that Tobias gives you, and
actually, a player who I'm sure is a very popular Tobias trade is SGA, because if you're an SGA owner and you want to say, I want to flip SGA, that's gonna be hard. I'm gonna tell you guys, it's hard. Even if he's gonna be top 30, he scores 40 points, 50 points, I don't care. It's hard to sell him because of the rest issue. So if you want to flip him and then you say, okay, Tobias, that will work. That can work.
Let's see. I'm just trying to see which players you can get or try for. I mean, you can. No. Dame is out, so CJ McCollum would have very high usage at this point. So I don't think that would work. Tyrese
or Tobias, who I would rather have. I might go Tyrese.
Jeremy Grant.
Tobias.
Right.
I'll go Tobias.
D'Angelo, D'Angelo.
I'm not a fan of D'Angelo because of the shooting. I mean, Tobias is 47%, but D'Angelo's like even worse. So I will go Tobias there. I think we can put it at 60. I guess at that level. After 60, I would pick Tobias already.
Those players are actually ranked higher than Tobias at this point. So
at this point, yeah. But the preseason,
preseason rank. Pascal Siakam or
Tobias.
Right.
Tobias.
All right, so that's Tobias, our worry player, Tyrese and Rubio. We also have Kyle Lowry and Spencer Dinwiddie. Maybe we'll talk about them some other time. Dinwiddie, we've talked about them. We've talked about him a few days ago, I think. Lowry, we've talked about him before, struggling again. So we'll see what happens in the next few games. Maybe there's some Jimmy Butler effect here, wherein he plays better with Jimmy Butler. Because I think the time he struggled, I think there was a stretch there wherein Jimmy was out as well. So let's see. Also, it's adjustment period for the Heat without Bam and without Jimmy. So we'll see. But feel good players. Let's talk about Giannis. We haven't talked about Giannis. Giannis has been solid as always. Probably one of the more reliable players.
What's your bet on the free throw percentage of Giannis? Or I mean, what do you feel like he's gonna be this year?
71.
71.
At least 70. I was hoping. I don't think I was hoping he'll get to 70.
Well, he's at 67. So
which was probably the same, right? Last year he was
something like that. But in fairness to him, that's on volume attempts. I mean, he's not like 67 on like
attempting 10.
Yeah, it's not like 3 attempts a game. So those are if you look at that, that's not bad. You look at that both ways. It's not bad because 67, he has a lot of attempts. He's not 50%, 55. He's still 67. That's good, but it hurts you a lot more also. It hurts you a lot more because that's 10 attempts, and that's the reason maybe why he's number 15 per game. It's just number 15, but the fact that he's 67%.
He's 10th today. After today.
Yeah, but he moved up to 10th. So the fact that he's in that high of a level, even if he's shooting that low, is because of the other stats. They're elite. And as I said, he's one of the very
only 2 stats you'll probably complain about Giannis. That free throw and the turnovers.
Yeah, and even the turnovers isn't that bad. It's 3.1. So
3.2.
I mean that's okay. That's
for a star player, that's okay.
That's okay.
You'll forgive him for those.
Considering he's not known as a 3-point shooter, he gives you 1 point something. So,
and the biggest, I guess, I'm not sure what his stats were in the threes, but he is making at least 1 3-pointer a game. Which is good. I mean, that's an improvement, I guess, already from past seasons.
Actually, he has already been averaging more than 1 3-pointers for two. This is the 3rd season already. That's why I said people will be surprised that if you ask people who are the 1-1-1 guys, they will say Robert Covington. They will give those names. Giannis has been part of that club for 2 years, and this is the 3rd year.
I didn't know that. I mean, I thought that he started to attempt more threes this year.
No,
I guess no.
He's
been attempting similar number of threes.
Giannis is a weird guy. He's a superstar that people like take for granted. I don't know, right? I mean, he's Giannis. He's good. I don't care what he's doing. He's just a freak. That's it. You don't mind whatever he's improving.
No wow factor, I guess. There's no wow factor anymore with Giannis. Unlike players like Steph or maybe Jokic, there's always that wow factor with them.
I guess you can't relate with Giannis. You can't relate with Giannis.
Yeah, because he's just your hardworking superstar.
No, it's
very silent and does the work.
And the freak nature of his body, the transformation, makes you like, okay, that's different. That's a robot. I mean, Jokic, you can relate. The fat guy, Curry's a small guy. You can shoot. So you can relate with those guys. You would love Harden, the overweight guy.
True.
I mean, Giannis, okay, I'll never be that guy. So
Yeah.
so no way.
See, I think many fans are just saying, yeah, he should be doing those things because of the way he is built.
Yes, yes.
So it's
Exactly,
not really a
exactly.
surprise for
Exactly.
us. In fact, he should be doing more. I think that's
Yeah.
what people would be thinking. Yeah, so Giannis, feel good player. Maybe quickly, Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley, we talked about them in brief. They've been really good. I mean, Jarrett Allen, we felt initially that, he'll fade eventually because he did fade last year. After with his stint with the Cavs, but so far he's been really really solid, very reliable, a far better Clint Capella, I guess.
Jarrett.
Jarrett
Mm,
Allen,
I guess you can say they're the same. I wouldn't say he's
but he
better than Capella.
scores more.
Yes, but he doesn't block. Today he had 5, but for the season
He's
it's less
not
than 1.
consistently, yeah, he's not
Yeah,
consistently
yeah.
blocking.
So they have both have their the better parts of their games. So I guess I'll be equal with both of them, but I still like Capella more because he has longer track record of being consistently this good, and
Yeah.
Allen is just this good now. So maybe I don't trust it as much. But as I said in my quickie, that I buy it. I buy it this year. I think this
Yeah,
is for real.
that three center lineup by Cleveland, I think, is working. And it's working well with their lineup, their build, and it's also benefiting the players. I mean, the way Garland has been playing has been really good. The way Mobley has been used as a rookie, he's been really good. We know he should be good, but again, the
Not
fit,
this good.
yeah,
Right
not
away.
this good yet, right? Not this good yet. We didn't expect him to be this good yet, right? The fit has been really good for them.
If Mobley today had 2 3-pointers, if he becomes a 1 point something 3-pointer a game guy,
Yeah,
top 50, might even be top 40 this year. So let's see if those 2 3-pointers become a norm, because before today he wasn't making those shots.
yeah.
Right.
So yeah, those are our feel good players of today, and yeah, that wraps up this quickie on a Thursday. Tomorrow is live Q&A. Are you good with live Q&A tomorrow?
Yeah, sure.
All right, we have Joey Villar of the Philippine Star tomorrow to join us, also a part of our Invitationals League. And yeah, that's it for today's quickie. We'll see you again tomorrow for a live Q&A session around 9 p.m. And that's it. Bye, guys.